I love how Love and Marriage Huntsville and Love and Marriage DC has showed us Black male therapists. And I especially love Carlos King, Love and Marriage DC, Jamie, and little Jamie showing us a Black father and son coming together, going to therapy, and trying to solve their issues. This scene was everything to me, y'all. It was so powerful, so healing, could help so many of our families and our community. So let's get into it. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Brittany Yvonne channel. Of course, I'm your girl, Brittany Yvonne. Here on my channel, we do fun reviews, recaps, and discussions of all of our favorite shows. Y'all, it's Saturday night, so you should already know that we are talking OWN's Love and Marriage DC. This is season 2, episode 5, titled Street Fighters, right? Y'all, please hit that thumbs up button. Before we get into anything, go on and click it for me. Happy Black History Month to y'all as well. We still celebrating, or y'all still celebrating where y'all at? Anyway, also thank you to all my new subscribers. There's been a lot of new subscribers lately, so I appreciate all of y'all and those who are going to click that subscribe button right now. Thank you for doing that. Also share the video if you enjoyed the content and comment down below. I thought this was a wonderful episode of Love and Marriage DC. I can see why the show is gaining even more hype now. Why people are saying, you know, it's a really good reality show, because this episode was really, really, really good to me. Y'all let me know if y'all agree with me in the comments. So let's just get into it, because there's a lot to talk about, okay? So the episode does pick up where we left off last week with Brittany setting up the family, pulling a Armand on soul food, right? And so, you know, she didn't tell her brother that she was inviting over the parents and the grandma and granny. So, you know, he was shocked, of course. So Brittany said she tired of having talks with you, and you. She tired of all the individual talking. We here to put everything on the table. Little glass table she had. Brittany's little apartment is cute, or townhouse is cute, girl. So anyway, she said, if you got a problem with it, you know how to get back outside. Okay, so she said, we're going to lay it all out on the table. Who wants to go first? So Jamie said in his confessional he didn't come for no drama. He didn't come for no issues. He didn't want to argue with nobody. So he did kind of start the conversation off anyway, though. And he's like, you know, saying to little Jamie, saying like, okay, like, what's going on? What are you doing? Like, you know, what's going on with you? And, well, Jamie said he's looking for a job. And Erana said, okay, well, what kind of job or career are you trying to do? He said he don't know. He just want to, you know, he's just trying to figure out something to make money. He don't know what he want to do yet. And so Granny says she worries about him, and, you know, he has to want to do it for himself. And Jamie was saying, like, you know, it's like everybody in here could want it for you, but we can't want it for you more than you can. You want to have to do better for yourself and want to live better and do better, so the people who are around you right now in life can see it. Basically, like, get your life together before Granny passed, is what he was saying, right? Not that we want Granny to pass, but, you know, that's what he was saying. Well, you know, your loved ones, they want to, especially when they get elderly, like my granny, for example, like, I'm glad that she could see, you know, even though I went through struggles of unemployment, even though I had my first master's degree, I still was unemployed. And then she finally was able to see me, you know, get into my teaching career and go back to school and all that. So, you know, she saw that I was going to be self-sufficient and successful, and she didn't have to worry anymore. Not saying my story is similar to little Jamie's in no kind of way. I'm just saying, like, our grandparents want to make sure we're going to be good here before they leave us on earth. So, you know, so everybody's like, little Jamie, what you gonna do? What's happening? And so then Erana's like, I'm also tired of the back and forth between you two talking about Big Jamie and Little Jamie. You know, 1 minute y'all good, the next day y'all not good. It's like a roller coaster, is going up and down. Then they're talking about the recent blow up and text messages. Little Jamie sent to Erana. I think she brought those up in that moment as well. And so, you know, they just asking little Jamie, like, what's up? And so Big Jamie said, okay, basically, we're going to do an ultimatum. Like, you know, we're going to go to counseling. You got to agree to go to counseling. If you can't agree to do that, then, you know, you out of here. You out the house, basically. You got to go live with your girlfriend, change the address, all that good stuff. So he said no to canceling, right? And so they're like, the chancellor is not just for you, it's for, everybody. And so to help everybody. And so little Jamie's like, nah. And so they're asking him, like, okay, what are you thinking? Like, what are you saying? Like, trying to get him to speak up for himself, basically. And he shuts down. I noticed that little Jamie has a very, very, very hard time communicating his emotions. His first thought is to shut down. And he kind of he walked sat on the stairway, I think, and cried. And he's like, y'all just feel like, y'all just saying that I ain't nothing. And he said in his confessional, it just feels like everybody's coming down on me, making me the problem. I'm the one that got to go talk to the doctor to get fixed because I'm the problem. And I might as well not even try to do anything. Why don't I just, leave if I'm the problem? And the thing to me was they weren't saying any of that. That's not what they were saying at all. But, when your emotions are that heightened and you tend to not be an irrational thinker, you're more irrational, you're more, reacting off of your emotions, you take things in that type of way. And I've experienced that before in myself, so I understand. And so I was like, wow, he's hearing something they're not even saying, but that is just how he feels, right? So anyway, Brittany Kimber said, if the family got not good, if the family feuding, we all bad. Like, it's bad when the family feuding. So she went down the stairs to console him, and she was like, I wanted you to do better. I want more for you. She started crying. Big Jamie had started crying in his earlier speech when they were still sitting on the sofa, because he said, he gets emotional having these talks with his family because he wants the best for them. And Big Jamie does want the best. At the end of the day, he wants the best for his family, his kids, including little Jamie. He just doesn't have the best approach. And he even admitted it. And let me backpedal a little bit before I go forward. So he was saying, to little Jamie when they first opened up the discussion that, you keep doing these different things, and maybe the way me and your mom raised you also contributed to the way you are. Brittany was like, won't he do it? You finally took some accountability. But then Big Jamie's like, well, he gonna have to take some accountability for himself because he's 26-year-old. I was like, he could just let it go. But that's okay, Jamie. We making baby steps today with the Tylers, right? So anyway, back down to the stairs now. Brittany got emotional saying she just wants the best for you. You got to do this. We doing this for you. Like, we're not coming down on you. It's not like that. Brittany was like, no, we all love you. She hugged him up and everything. And so she's like, we want you to speak up, show, say how you're feeling. And Big Jamie's like saying, you can't shut down, man. You got to explain how you're feeling. He's like, this counselor's not just to fix you. He's like, I'm going to. He said, because maybe I'm learning that, maybe I have anger issues. Maybe my approach hasn't been good. So I got stuff going on in my head as well. So, I need to go to someone to talk. And so we can both talk and fix the situation. And so that really helped the little Jamie kind of understand more. And maybe they should have led with that. But it don't matter. They asked him again, hey, okay, now Brittany said, well, are you going to be okay with going to counseling? He said yes. So thank God. Thank God. Because when the scene first was starting, I was like, we need a licensed family therapist here at Brittany's house right now. So I'm so glad they said they were going to go seek somebody. And that little Jamie agreed to do it, and Big Jamie's going as well. That just warmed my heart. And then later on, we're going to get to, the therapy session. But anyway, let's get to Winter meeting up with Shirelle. So Winter's having a romancipation party. It's a spin on divorce party and freedom and all that. Okay, I guess it's like emancipation. Okay, I get it now because I wasn't getting it before. So she invited Shirelle to the party. Shirelle huffing and puffing up the stairs in that in her little bangs, whatever. So they said they're gonna need Shirelle's help. And so Winter said, I'm gonna need you to invite your football team to my party. Like, I'm gonna need you to help me get the football team to my party. She's like, what? She's like, the girls, she wants to invite Ashley and Erana and all them to the party. She feels like, they should be able to get along. She feels like her and Ashley are both, boss women, strong, independent women. They should, they might end up being friends. First of all, Winter, based on your personality and Ashley's personality, I could never see y'all being friends. Sorry, it's not happening. It don't work. It won't work. Get somebody else to do it. Secondly, girl, you want these girls to come to your party, but you steady calling them football team and linebackers all in the scene, all in your confessional, but you want them to come to your party? She almost made me curse in this moment. She almost made me curse right now. They gonna say, girl, skip you and your little freedom party. Okay? They don't want to come to your party. You over here dogging them left and right. Like, Winter, are you delusional? Is like something wrong with you? Like, girl, it don't make sense. Because why would they want to come to your party but you steady talking about them? You steady calling them gutter Barbies. You steady calling them the football team. Like, why would they want to come to your party? Make it make sense. Somebody in the comments, please. So anyway, Sharell bring up how Erana said that Joy said that her husband was shady and she didn't like that. And Winter was like, why would she say that? She was like, that's the thing, I don't know. And so she's like, why would even Erana be in the middle of that? She's like, that's the thing. That doesn't make sense to me. And so Winter was like, we gotta have sense to make common sense, right? And so she was like, yeah, I don't understand why, what's all the drama? And so Sharell's like, yeah, I'm gonna have a talk with Joy and I'm gonna have a talk with Erana because, like, why are you even bringing it up to me? And so Winter said in her confessionals that she always felt like Erana played both sides and Sharell needs to tread lightly with Erana. I'm like, girl, bye. So anyway, you just mad because Erana be getting you together when you trying to bring her pointless receipts that don't mean nothing. So anywho, then we get down to the scene with Ashley Silva and DJ Quik. Now, I like Ashley and DJ Quik. I do. But this little confessional scene pissed me off. Okay, so, pretty soon we're going to be celebrating DJ Quik and his street and all that. So they at the house, DJ Quik is, reading his book. Reading Ashley's book. He's like, man, I just can't put the book down. It's so good. It's so good. This is going to help so many people. And so Ashley's like, oh, you gassing me. He's like, no, for real, for real. And then, they're talking about the street naming coming up. So then they sat down on the sofa. And so he was like, I feel like you share everything with me. Well, you didn't share something with me. And she was like, what you talking about? He was like, oh, you didn't tell me our son got suspended. And so she was like, oh, I didn't think to tell you, he left his jacket on the table and he went back to get it. And she said, I didn't feel like he should have got suspended because he went back to get his jacket. So in the confessional, they both in the confessional, right, y'all? And DJ Quik gonna fix his mouth to say, oh, yeah, I'm trying to help Antonio become, a good upstanding citizen, do the right things in life. And one day it's suspension. The next thing, he could get in more trouble. And I'm sure little Jamie, got into trouble like this when he was a kid, maybe getting suspended, but he didn't face repercussions. I said, why in the world are you bringing up little Jamie into your son's storyline? Little Jamie is an adult. Your son is 14. Your son got in a fight at school. Stick to your son in this scenario, in this scene. Why are you bringing up little Jamie? I don't like that. I don't like that because I don't, it's feeling to me, is it just me? It's feeling to me like DJ Quik is a little bit on his high horse when it comes to this little Jamie and big Jamie and parenting and father and son relationship thing. And now it's kind of like he's weaponizing it a little bit. And I don't like when people take something, vulnerable they know is going on with you that could be negative or whatever, and then they weaponize it against you. And that's what it's feeling like to me. I don't think, maybe those are not his intentions, but that's what it's giving. And I don't like that. Like, you didn't need to bring up little Jamie in this scene about your son suspension. Like, I didn't agree with that and I didn't like it. He needs to not do that no more. And I'm anxious to see how the reunion is going to play out if DJ Quik keeps doing that, because I already know Big Jamie and Erana are not going to be here for that. So I didn't like none of that, y'all. Anyway, they call Antonio down. So he explained the story, what happened. Oh my God, he sounded just like his mama in this moment. That was so funny to me. So anyway, he was like, so, I left my jacket on the table, right? Went back to go get it, but it was gone, right? So then I went to the class of the kid and he saw who took it. So he took the kid's backpack. And then they got into the fight. So Quik was like, okay, we getting a call from the school. What if that kid had, drugs and or a gun or whatever in his backpack, and then, you know, they could have blamed it on you, and then it turns into a thing. He's like, you know, we got to make smarter decisions, handle things differently. And that was pretty much it. They didn't punish him or nothing, so I don't know, like, what are you talking about, Quik Silva? Anyway, they did a little handshake, actually trying to be the cool mama, but she ain't. Anyway. You know, that's good. Quik is doing the best he could do with his son, but his son is 14. He's going to get to that point where he start feeling himself, smelling himself like all teenagers do. And he may not be able to, he may have the same issues with him they had with little Jamie. Just because you think you doing everything right as a parent don't mean the kid is going to, you know, act like you did everything as a parent. Like, doesn't mean you're going to reap the reward of your parenting. Especially as a teenager, you're not going to reap it until, you know, you see them succeeding in life. So, anyway, then the next scene, we meet with, Joy meets with, Sharell. Because Sharell want to meet with Joy. So it's real awkward. Hey, girl, how you doing, girl? I'm good. How you doing? Okay. They're like, yeah, it's kind of awkward. But Sharell's like, yeah, you know, I want to have this meeting because, you know, I know you have an issue with me, and Sharell's like, sure, I don't have an issue with you. And so, but Joy, you kind of did, because you were like, oh, I don't like her husband, so therefore I don't like her. So then, therefore, you did have an issue with her, Joy, but maybe it was indirectly, but you had an issue with her. Like, don't y'all think Joy had an issue with Sharell? Is that just me? Let me know in the comments, please. So anyway, Shirelle was like, well, you know, I met with Erana. We went to the exercise class, and Erana said that you said that my husband was shady. And she was like, well, I didn't use the word shady. And she was like, you know, I was telling her about the situation with Mambo Sauce. I was like, Lord, here we go. We're making the band again. So anyway, she was like, well, how would you feel if someone was saying negative things about your husband-to-be and saying that your husband-to-be was shady and all this stuff? So Joy did not use the word shady. Joy said that he was selfish, was doing some unfair business practices. Later on, Erana gonna give us her definition of shady, which is, you know, untrustworthy. You know, unethical. Okay, so basically Erana summed it all up to say shady, okay? So it was just semantics, really, right? So anyway, Joyce, I didn't use that word. And so basically Sharell's like, okay, well, you need to explain to me like what he was doing that made you feel that way. So Joy's like, well, I don't really feel comfortable doing that. Like, all parties need to be here. So she's basically saying like, Sharell's husband, Blac, whatever his name is, need to be there before they had that discussion. So Sharell was like, well, no, not really, because, you know, you don't think people could have changed. But I'm like, if you don't think he was shady in the past, then why are you talking about he needed to change, Sharell? Joy's like, well, I knew him before you. And so Sharell's like, doesn't matter, I'm his wife now. And Joy's like, I knew him before you. And I get what Joy's saying, like, when she knew him, you know, they were in the music business together. They was, you know, making the band. They was in the group Mambo Sauce. They was touring. I hear Mambo Sauce. Let me stop making jokes for a second. I hear Mambo Sauce is a huge deal in DC. So I don't want to offend none of my DC viewers. I'm not for the DC area. I live in California. Never heard of Mambo Sauce. But I know, you know, the DC bands are a big thing. So the make it a band joke is just a joke, y'all. Please don't get offended, DC people, okay? Anyway, because I'm gonna still do the joke. So anyway, Joy was like saying, okay, this is what it was. Okay, so they was about to go on tour, right? Two of the band members left. And they did auditions, they hired two more. They went on tour. And she said, you know, she was the singer, Blac was the rapper, okay? I don't know what the other members was doing. Maybe they was playing the instruments, okay? So anyway, she said they went on a national tour. They had a big opportunity. And, you know, those two new members, I guess they really did their thing. Like, they're the ones that, like, made the group really pop on this national tour. So then, after the tour, Blac basically leveraged his power within the group. See, I wonder, was it his group originally? I don't know. But anyway, and he said that, oh, they're not going to do the next, whatever that next big opportunity was, they're not going to do it unless the other two members come back. And so since they couldn't, he said those other two people had to come back, but Joy's like, well, they was gone, the other two people was here. And so that's basically what Joy said was the issues in the group. I feel like there's more to this story because this is still not the friend situation, and Blac leaving Joy's friend and getting with Sharell and all this mambo sauce, making the band, kicking two members out, bringing two members in, trying to bring the old ones back is still not enough for me to have the level of hate in Joy's heart that she has for Blac. It's not enough for me. I feel like, we need all the pieces of the puzzle to come together, Joy. But this makes it make a little more sense, okay? But it's still not the level of hate you have for the man. Anyway, Joy, so Sharell's like, well, he's reached out to you guys plenty of times. He's tried to, give you guys opportunities. He's tried to make this right. And Joy's like, no, he has plenty of years, to fix this. He's never reached out. So, no. I feel like Sharell, if you weren't there, for, everything Mambo Sauce was doing and when they was making the band, then you really can't speak to it, is my thing. So, Joy was there. She was in the group. She had the experience, and that's what it was. So, anyway, then they start, kind of going back and forth, and so Joy's like, wait, stop. And so then she's like, no, don't tell me to stop. She was like, listen, what do you want from me, Shirelle? What issue do you have with me personally? And so she was saying, well, I don't have an issue with you personally. I just don't like the way it was conveyed. And so Joy was like, look, it's probably was just something that got lost in translation, and that's that. And so Shirelle was like, well, I'm going to have a talk with Erana because I don't like the way she's communicating this stuff. And so Joy said her confessional, to her, it's not worth having to talk with Erana. Everybody just need to stay out of everybody's stuff. And she don't care how she feel about it, being lost in translation. Sorry if it sound mean, but she don't really care how Sharell took it, and I don't blame her. And to me, it ain't worth Sharell going back to Erana with all the rah, but she gonna do it at the end of the episode, and we gonna get to that part too, because that part was funny to me, y'all. Anyway, so then Joy left. She told her, have a good night, girl. Now we get to Dr. Cunningham's office. So Dr. Cunningham is a licensed therapist who Big Jamie and Little Jamie are going to go speak to. Shout out to Carlos King and OWN and Love and Marriage franchises for finding these Black male therapists. Love it so much. A lot of times in these shows, on Potomac, we've seen a few African-American women therapists, which we love to see, but I love how Love and Marriage Huntsville and Love and Marriage DC has showed us Black male therapists. And I especially love Carlos King, Love and Marriage DC, Jamie, and Little Jamie showing us a Black father and son coming together, going to therapy, and trying to solve their issues. This scene was everything to me, y'all. It was so powerful, so healing, could help so many of our families and our community. So let's get into it. So, Big Jamie got there first. He had to fill out the little intake form. Y'all know how y'all got to do when y'all go down to the doctor. So then Little Jamie came. And so they go to sit down. And so Big Jamie said, basically over the years, him and his son have constantly gotten to it recently. They had a bad blow up, talking about the little, Jason's party. And so then, he's talking about when Little Jamie sends those texts saying, he talks about him sending the text about his tickets needed to be paid, and Jamie saying, you can afford your lifestyle while you can't afford to pay these tickets. And then he's saying, we don't do nothing for you. Only my girlfriend hold me down and all that good stuff. So Jamie said, it turned into a big blow up, a screaming match, and I did, go off on him, and I had a few drinks, so that's probably the reason why. Dr. Cunningham said, I'm not going to let you get away with that drinking excuse. Thank you, Dr. Cunningham, because I do not like when people blame everything on the alcohol. This is not a Jamie Foxx song. No. you still did those actions at the end of the day, right? So anyway, like things happen, mistakes are made, of course, but every time people want to blame all the behavior on the alcohol, like, no, you need to get together. So, then, Dr. Cunningham was basically telling Jamie, like, you as the older adult, like, I'm holding you accountable. Like, you need to lead by example. Like, what did that screaming do? It didn't do anything. Like, you need to figure out how to, hold your temper and do all that. So Big Jamie was like, Doc, I don't know if I told you, but I'm a retired detective, and, did that for 25 years, and I think, that job has caused me to have a lot of, different issues. And basically, Jamie said he go from 0 to 100 real quick. He don't really have a medium. And that's why he don't even like to get worked up, because, he has an issue. The doctor said, he got to figure out how to breathe and control that anger. Okay. And then the doctor was talking to little Jamie, and he was saying, like, how do you feel when what is it that your dad does that, makes you kind of put a wall up when he's talking to him? So little Jamie was saying, like, basically making him feel like he's not anything, making him feel like he's not worthy, the way he talks to him and everything. And, the doctor was, telling Jamie, like, that's not good. Like, you can want him to change, but the way you're saying things is not going to work, basically. And so, little Jamie in his confession was like, oh, thank God. Like, Dr. Cunningham is, like, telling my dad, like, the stuff he needs to hear. And, I know, like, him being a detective has affected him. And I'm just so glad. He's basically glad that he getting his daddy together. So, he was saying that, because basically Jamie feels like he took the approach of being a detective in the way he raised his kids. But, of course, he's seeing now that approach has not worked, right? He can't raise his kids as a police officer. He got to leave his police work at the job and be a dad at home. And that's the part he's struggled with. And I will say it's really hard sometimes, especially when you have a highly intense job like that, to leave your work at work and not bring it home. It's really hard. I'm learning. That's another thing I'm learning myself. That's why this show is so good, because it just helps you, like, see, we can just relate to it so well, y'all. So anyway, little Jamie was also talking about how he, been in times where he just feels so bad on himself, and then he'll have no car, no gas in the car, no food to eat in the refrigerator, nothing, no money in his pocket, nothing going on, and he just feels like the world has got a chokehold on him. He can't do nothing. He ain't surviving. He just feel like he can't do it. He can't take it no more. He just want to, like, throw it all away, end it all, basically. And so Dr. Cunningham was like, okay, so who, I first want to say, like, if you're having those thoughts, we're going to address that. But basically, like, also, you need to make sure you are in a space where you're not causing yourself to be in those situations, because who do you think, how do you think you got in those situations? He's like, basically you can be the one to help yourself not get in those situations anymore. And so, he asked Big Jamie, has he heard those things before? Little Jamie saying, like, it's just all too much for him. And he was like, yeah, he recently sent his mom some text messages that were, basically alluding to the fact that he, feels like he didn't use any kind of words of, like, unaliving himself, but kind of leading in that direction. So, and he said it in the past. So the doctor asked him how long ago. He was like, he takes those things very seriously. Of course he has to. He's a therapist, right? Mandated reporter. So he said, when's the last time you had those kind of feelings and thoughts? Little Jamie said, it was a while ago, like a month or two ago. I'm like, that's recent. And even the doctor agreed. He was like, no, that's not that long ago. And so he said, yeah, we definitely want to address that. But he's like, one thing I want you to have thought of is that it's about what you're doing as well. He said, you matter, you're worthy. He's like, one of the reasons why I became, I started getting to this field is because of I seen, other people like me that look like me, and I want to help them know that, they are worthy, they deserve, to be here, they are cared for, and you can do anything. Basically, you can do anything you put your mind to. And so Dr. Cunningham really gave him good advice and everything. And so then he said Big Jamie out and he wanted to talk to little Jamie a little longer. And so he just really wanted to check in with him about his mental health, right? So anyway, he was like, okay, so first of all, I got to make sure, like, are you currently having any kind of those kind of thoughts or feelings of like, you know, unaliving yourself, any kind of harm to yourself, anything like that? Like, I cannot let you walk out this door until I know that for sure. And so little Jamie's like, no, he's fine right now. And then he's like, you know, we just want to see you succeed, but I can want it for you, but at the end of the day, you have to want it for yourself. You know, you can do anything you put your mind to. You know, you don't want to be doing those things anymore that are going to get you into those situations. You got to do it for yourself and want it for yourself, but you got to want to put it into work. And he also told Big Jamie before he left that, like, you know, we don't know if things are going to change until we, you know, take the opportunity to have the change, and we got to do it differently to see the change, and also allow there to be time for the changes to happen. Okay, so little Jamie in his confessional said, you know, everything the doctor was saying is pretty much everything he's heard all his adult life. So pretty much things his family has told him, but he said it was the different approach. He was able to hear the doctor better than he's able to hear his dad, because his dad is coming in with that, like, you know, that negative, harsh approach. So I'm glad that little Jamie, there was a breakthrough. I feel like there was a little bit of a breakthrough in that counseling session. Is this one session going to heal their relationship and, you know, get little Jamie's life back on track? No, they're going to have to really work on it, keep going to more sessions together separately. Big Jamie needs a separate session for himself. I'm assuming he's doing that. More sessions together, maybe ones with all the family in there as well. And, you know, it's going to take hard work outside of the sessions, but I believe they can do it. I feel like they want to do it. And, you know, they're taking a step in the right direction. Like little Jamie said, he'd been down for so long, all he could do is go up. I put it on Twitter, but I'm going to say it on here. Little Jamie, we are rooting for you. We know you're going to do great things. I follow him on Instagram. I see him doing some modeling, some outfits and stuff. I think his girlfriend was doing it as well. So shout out to the whole Tyler family for letting us in on their family journey and their family healing. I loved it, y'all. I loved it. And then the doctor also said, you know, he wants to make sure little James going to be good. So the way he's going to do that is to give him his contact information. And anytime he's feeling like, you know, really, really low and like he might want to harm himself, he can call him. That's how he's, you know, going to help him. And I was like, oh, that is so sweet of him and wonderful. So, and even little James, like, okay, he got that contact information for me. He's like, don't worry, I'm going to get it to you. I got your dad's number. It's going to be all good. And Big Jamie, little Jamie hugged it out. And it was good. It was good, y'all. And, you know, little Jamie, like I said, seemed to really receive everything that was said to him. And Big Jamie was saying also in his confessional, before I forget, that, you know, before when little Jamie was saying all this stuff about how his life is so hard and all that stuff, he was like, he looked at his life as being good, you know, he taking care of him. I could see how Big Jamie would say that, you know, if they're taking care, if I'm the parent, I'm taking care of the kid, to me, your life look good to me. But he's saying, I see in the world, where the world is now, he's like, I can see how, you know, he's having those feelings now, and I'm going to take them more seriously now. And Big Jamie said, you know, he could see how his approach hasn't been working. So like I said, I think Big Jamie also will have some growth as well, as long as they put in the work and he doesn't go back to old patterns. But it's going to take time, like the doctor said. But yeah, I like Dr. Cunningham so far. Let me know what y'all think of Dr. Cunningham. He's no Dr. Francis. No, just kidding. I think I like him more than Dr. Francis, actually. Anyway, Dr. Francis is just entertaining, though. So anyway, then I think we covered all that wonderful scene. Then we get down to the drama and the foolishness now, y'all. So we down in Baltimore, and DJ Quik Silva is getting honored. He's getting a street named after him. I believe it was called Shady Side Way, ironically. And Joy made a joke about that. So everybody, you know, in their confessional is saying of course they're going to go honored, go celebrate DJ Quik. Joy lets us know that's her hometown as well, which I remember her saying that on Ready to Love. So she's like, that's legacy, him getting honored. Erana congratulated him and Sharell and her husband and Ashley as well. So they all get there. All his family is there. They showed his pictures. He said, it's tough growing up there in the 80s and the 90s. He got shot right there and stabbed down the street. I said, oh, Lord, what was happening? Anywho, we got seen his godmother and his granny and all that. So it was just a cool celebration. I like this scene as well. So the guy gets up there, announces the mayor. I think his name is Brandon Scott or something like that. I don't know who the mayor of Baltimore is, y'all. Sorry, but let me know in the comments because y'all probably know it. So he honors basically DJ Quik Silva gets the honor for all his community service and achievements in his community. And so DJ Quik said, he comes back to the old neighborhood for different parties and events and stuff like that. And, he felt good about himself, but now he really feels like he made it. And he did. Like, he deserves that. Go ahead, DJ Quik Silva. He really deserved that. And it was also his birthday that day as well. And he got up there. He couldn't even talk, y'all. He was crying. He was like, he's so happy. He almost had me crying, y'all. So anyway, he was saying, he wishes mom and dad would be there to see this, but they're looking down. And we know that DJ Quik lost his mom at a very young age. So I could just imagine. That's the most we've really seen him cry thus far, too. So I'm glad he, not glad he broke down, but was able to kind of, have that moment. And Ashley was crying. And it was sad, but a joyous time as well. And so they named the street after him, right? So then everyone's, hanging out afterward talking. And so then in a little huddle circle, we have Erana and Jamie. We have Blac and Sharell. We have Joy and Clifton. And Ashley and DJ Quik. And so Shirelle brings up, she's like, I see Erana and her bob at the corner of my eye. And so she started getting her hands together. She was like, I just want to have a quick talk real quick. She was like, I know, it wasn't the right time and place, but it was just burning her up inside to have this discussion with Erana at DJ Quik's event. I said, Sharell, wrong place, wrong time. And as we get further in the season, I'm leaning more towards the not like the Sharell, y'all. Y'all know I was on the fence, but I'm really leaning towards more of not feeling Sharell. I'm not feeling her. Let me know if y'all like Sharell in the comments, because I like certain things about her. But this bringing this up at DJ Quik's event, no. Not cool. And she's messy. I do like that she's into fitness though, because I'm getting into fitness as well. So, anywho, y'all, let's just get into the drama. So, she was like, girl, I hate to bring this up over here, but I just want to talk because when certain words are used with people's relationships and husbands, now she addressed in the whole group. Joy said in her confession, she was like, when a black woman start putting her hands together and talking like this and stuff, she's like, I already know it's going to be a problem. She's like, ooh, don't do it. So Joy's thing is it's not time and place to bring it up, which I agree. So she's addressing the group, so it's kind of like, well, girl, who you talking to? And so then she's like, there was comments made about my husband and, something about, you had a discussion with Joy. And so she's like, oh, you talking to me? And she's like, yeah, the word shady was used to describe my husband, and I didn't appreciate that. And so Erana was like, oh, I used the word shady because that's the word that describes your husband. I hollered when Erana said that because she said it in such a bold way, but not a malicious intent. Like, that was like what Joy said. Like, all I said was what Joy said. Even Joy didn't use the word shady, but the way Erana said it was hilarious to me. Because I know she didn't mean to be funny, but it just sounded funny to me. So then Sharell going off. She ain't even let nobody get a word in. She said, oh, no, how dare you call my husband shady. Rah, 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 rah. So then DJ Quik trying to intervene. And Erana's like, no, let me explain. This is what Joy said. Let me explain. Joy sitting there quiet on top of Clifton like, child. So anyway, DJ Quik trying to intervene, and then Ashley did, because she was like, well, this is women here. Blac trying to intervene. It's just not working. Sharell's is not letting them get a word in. Ashley was like, oh my gosh, like, why are they bringing this up right here? My husband's event, they trying to make a show. Like, Here they go, they arguing. Later on, she said, Rain over here with her Bob doing all this, and Sharell over here doing all this. And she said, if I'm gonna have to get in the fight, and it's gonna be 3 of us women fighting in the street. So, finally, Erana got to get the word in, and she's like, I talked to Joy, and she said that your husband was being shady. And then she was like, but Joy said she didn't use the word shady. And she was like, no, I used the word shady. She said your husband was being unethical and doing some, bad business deals and stuff like that, being untrustworthy. And that's the definition of shady. So that's the word I used. And so Joy barely said 2 words over there. She was like, she ain't getting in it. Joy said, they trying to say, I need to say something or be in it. She's like, no, I didn't come to do this. So I'm not about to say nothing at this event. And I don't blame Joy. Now, because she had said more in the moment, yeah, she could have said, well, I use this word, but she, used the word shady. Basically, Erana was using one word to sum it all up, but basically she's saying the same thing, Sharell. Okay, she's saying the same thing, girl. So, Erana's thing is like, do you know the definition of shady? She pulled out her iPhone, Googled it, and it says the definition of shady is untrustworthy, unfair business practices, unethical. Do you need to read the definition of shady? That's what it is. She's like, that's the word I use. That's what Joy was describing. So I was cracking up so hard at that scene, y'all. So then Shirelle was like going off to the point where she basically wanted to fight Erana. I was cracking up, not at the fight, but just at Erana's whole response to it. Like, girl, I'm only using the word she said. She basically doing a synonym, okay? It's semantics, okay? It's English 101, okay? She didn't use the exact words Joy used, but all together, shady describes it perfectly to me, Sharell. But it's all good. Anyway, it was funny to me, y'all. Like I said, this was a good episode. Looks like they had to pull the girls apart because Sharell was ready to fight, and Raina was like, don't nobody like you anyway. Sharell's like, you think I give a damn about who likes me? And so we're gonna see what happens next week when the girls get all together. That was pretty much it, y'all. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Let me know what y'all thought of the episode in the comments, please, y'all. I'm really dying to know what y'all thought of this episode. I thought it was really good. Anyway, talk to y'all soon. Bye.